Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today it's another printer. What it is I did a live print on this printer, but I've not actually told you what my impressions are on it in regards to print quality. So I'm just going to quickly show you around the printer, and then I'll discuss about it, as there's not many videos on the Creality CR10 Max. So here goes. So first of all, I'm going to switch it on. So the button's on the side, as you can see. It takes about, I'd say, a good 30 to 1 hour, depending on how good you are. There's the jingle there in the background. Takes about up to an hour to set up. Obviously, you've got to put all the strut bracing and stuff on the printer itself, as it's extremely large. The dimensions of this printer is 450 millimeters by 450 millimeters and 470 millimeters high. So it's really big, and as you can see, I need two separate tables just to fit it on. Obviously, in regards to this printer, it's not a cheap printer. It is fairly expensive. But like I say, with this, my interest was big prints. So you could do things like cosplay items, helmets, anything that you need parts and stuff for, that's just smaller printers like I've got myself just don't cut. Obviously, it does have BL Touch, as you can just see there. And there's the print nozzle. The bed itself is extremely huge. I will just show you now exactly how big that is. This here I've got in my hand is the Elegoo Neptune build plate. Just remove the dragon. There we go. I'll show you that in a minute. This is obviously the Neptune 2S that I have. Absolutely love this printer, and I will do a long-term review on it, as it's one of my favourite PLA printers. But as you can see straight away off the bat, it is absolutely huge. You could probably fit about 4 of the Neptune with the build plate. So basically, all I want to show you is my experience so far with this printer, and I'll tell you the ups and downs of it. Excuse me. Obviously, if you go on YouTube, you see a lot of reviews. Don't buy this printer, it's terrible, blah blah blah. Just avoid it, basically. And I've got to admit, I kind of disappointed in that, because I haven't had nothing but excellent experience with this printer so far. Everything I've printed is perfect, as I'll show you now. This is, you've probably seen these about all over the place if you're into 3D printing. This is the dragon, the flexible dragon, the articulated dragon. And obviously the legs move, the whole body moves, and it took, I'd say, about 24 hours or something, round about that time, off the top of my head. And it's fairly a long print. Obviously, it does take longer than it does on my resin printers. But like I say, this thing is over 2 foot long. As you can see, it's bigger than the bed itself if you was to put it out straight. Obviously, it did print in a circular fashion. It was kind of like this. Let me just show you. This is how it basically printed, kind of like that. And then the whiskers was in the middle, as you can see. So I'll come down to the one side that I hate about this printer so far, and I'm thinking about getting changed, is the bed itself. You can release it with these caps, so you'll pull them out and you can slide the bed out, which is fair enough. I don't mind that. The problem with it is, as you can see, I've done a couple of prints now, and you can still actually see the dragon, because the prints get stuck well, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they do get stuck down pretty firm on the bed, and you do have to give them some force. Whereas on my my Neptune 2S, the print's ready just to fall off. But even after cooling and the plate is completely cold, it'll take some time getting this off. I have had to use spatula to get it off. And what it does is it leaves like the print, as you can see there, that's part of the dragon, and it goes all the way around. There, look, you can see the leg there, and obviously it's left that imprint, which it's not a biggie because, like I say, you can change this. Some people just take this off and use like a glass piece, and I think I might do that myself. But apart from that, that's the only issue I've had so far with this printer, is it leaving the marks behind. The other issue I had, but it was rectified quite simply really, is this cable sits on the bed when it's printing. When I first got it, all I did was print a little resin pole, and I cable tied that down, and all it does now is just keeps it, no matter where it goes, it'll keep it up above this, because it would just flop, because of the weight of the cable, it's quite big. It would just flop straight onto the heat bed, which I didn't really want, and it'd knock your print as it was coming backwards and forwards. So just bear that in mind. Just, it's not hard to do, you can get anything, a bit of wood. I just printed it off because I had that piece lying about. But that, off the top of my head, is it. But yeah, there's so many negative reviews about prints not going well and this and that. But honestly, if you know what you're doing and you level your bed, you can't stress this enough. Yes, it has BL Touch, it's supposed to be auto leveling, but even though it has that, I still manually level it with a piece of paper as well on top of that, so that it's double checked. And like I say, I have had such perfect prints. You can see in the Dragon itself, it is absolutely phenomenal. Not a single flaw anywhere, no breakage. It is, and I reckon I'm going to do another one that'll be even bigger than this, probably over 4 foot maybe. I'll just keep going until I can max out the bed. It'll probably take a couple of days, but I'll do it. And I'll probably do that on the channel as well, so you can see it yourself. But yeah, as long as you level this properly and make sure it's all done, the BL Touch will go over all 16 points of the bed. But also, like I say, you've got the wheels underneath, and I would manually do it as well. So you do, because a lot of people just rely on the BL Touch. I think, yeah, it's level. It's not going to work like that. The problem with the bigger bed is it can bow in the middle, because obviously the weight, and it can have a little flex in the middle. To stop that, just make sure you level your bed. And I also have in the settings, when I'm printing, I have the leveling. Bear with, let me move that. I have the leveling on. Bear with. Let's just turn that off. I don't want that to do that in a minute. There we go. So if we bring this forward, in the options I have a leveling system where what it does is it basically every time before every print, it will just double check with that BL Touch that it's basically leveled, and that's what it'll do. But I'll show you the system. You've got your print, you've got your temps. You can literally manually or automatically set what it is. So you can have that if you know you've got ABS or PLA. You can do manual heating. You can cool it down. You've got the fan settings on there. The touchscreen is very responsive. Obviously you've got your print files, and in settings you've got the volume of the actual screen. When you're touching it, you've got your leveling again. Got your refuel, so if you need, that's obviously changing the reel, which does sit on top. If you want to change that, you've got the move, so you can move everything individually yourself. You can disable the motors, and the reason for this is also another thing that you want to make sure is level. What you'll do is you'll press that, and that'll disable the motors in the wheels for the Z-axis. And what that'll do is it'll stop that, so you can move it freely. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it, and you'll probably end up damaging it. So make sure you press that one there when you want to move it up and down freely. Because what you'll have to do is you'll have to measure it, because of the size of it, you want to make sure that it's not, on an angle. You want to make sure it's actually straight, that bar. And you can do that by just putting a piece of bar that you get with the printer under that one, and then just level it with that. You can just turn a wheel and drop it up or down depending on how high it needs to be. It's all in the booklets and everything. It's not hard to understand. But yeah, so you've got that. You've got the language. You can change that. Printer info. So if you press that, it'll just tell you what it is. CR10 Max. As you can see, the printing size and the firmware version of this, and the BL, which is for BL Touch on the end. was pretty much it for the screen. Obviously it tells you at the bottom already what the temperatures are, which I really like. So it'll tell me obviously the nozzle at the minute is 14 degrees. It's not summer here in the UK yet, but it's warming up a little bit, so it's still sitting around those temperatures in the house, which isn't too bad. But yeah, apart from that, that's really it. As you can see, I'll give you a little tour around it. There's not much to see. All your cables. It does come in a separate part, so this box will be separate, and the whole printer will just sit on top. You screw it in, and as I say, it is fairly big. I've just got the silicone from the Dragon that I had on. Really lovely colour that. But yeah, you'll have these strut braces that'll just keep it all steady. But yeah, that's it really. I am going to do a lot more prints on this printer. So if you want to keep an eye on the channel or subscribe, be perfect. And I'll do a lot more. I'm also going to do a giveaway, I think, for one of my subscribers. To comment and stuff like that later on. I'll do another video for that anyway. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you do have any questions or you want me to do something with this printer, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. That's it really. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.